Advancements in imaging continue to transform the way medical professionals practice and treat their patients. And for the 15,000 members of the Society for Nuclear Medicine and Molecular Imaging, the annual meeting is the premier event to gain unparalleled access to the latest scientific advancements and research developments. This year's meeting will be held virtually, and we're here to show you the highlights on SNMMI TV. Hello and welcome to SNMMI TV, a show created for the community of physicians, technologists, pharmacists, laboratory professionals, and scientists, all working to transform medicine and improve lives. On day 3 of this annual meeting, we'll take you to the northernmost PET imaging center in the world, plus a conversation with Dr. Irene Bouvat of the Institut Curie, Paris, about the power of artificial intelligence in nuclear medicine.
Using AI, we can analyze a large quantity of data, so we can gain insights into specific features of different diseases.
And later in the show, we find out what's new in the area of nuclear cardiology from Dr. Sharmila Durbala and much more. But first, let's look at today's top events of the meeting. The third day of the meeting starts with Motivation Monday, featuring Mike Crosby, the founder and president of Veterans Prostate Cancer Awareness. Mike is a cancer survivor, and he's going to share his personal journey as a patient and the important role nuclear medicine played in his care and with the care of the veterans he works with through his organization. This morning's plenary, SNMMI Business Meeting and Hal Anger Lectureship, will be an opportunity to celebrate the winners of several of this year's important awards, the announcement of the 2021 class of SNMMI Fellows, and hear the groundbreaking work that's being done by this year's Anger Lecturer, Dr. Irene Bouvat. Another special session this afternoon will be the Lancet Oncology Commission on Medical Imaging. Attend this session to learn about the goals and scope of the Commission, the status of the Commission's work in improving the global utilization of imaging and nuclear medicine in oncology, and the economics of cancer imaging. And finally, we'll be celebrating Dr. Alan Packard's year as SNMMI President during this evening's festive President's Reception. SNMMI TV visits all parts of the globe for the latest research and developments in the field. That includes Tromsø, Norway, which sits north of the Arctic Circle. Despite the location, the cultural hub features one of the most modern PET centers in the world.
We in Tromsø can do research from basic organic chemistry all the way to research in human beings.
Dynamic PET allowed us to quantify the amount of radioactivity that we find in different organs.
We can track immune cells in vivo in response to therapy.
We aim for treat and image brain tumors at the same time.
We are working with a true theranostic pair, copper-64, copper-67.
Now to discuss the world's rapidly developing AI technology and its impact on the field of nuclear medicine, Dr. Irene Bouvat joins me from the Institut Curie in Paris. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, and thanks for having me here. It's a great pleasure.
And congratulations on being chosen for the Hal Anger Lectureship. You'll be discussing the power of artificial intelligence in nuclear medicine. Tell me, how is AI being used in nuclear medicine today?
So first, it is a huge honor for me to give that lecture, and I would like to thank the SNMMI committee for giving me that opportunity. And to answer your question, so at the moment, AI is mostly used to automate process and to speed up procedures that could take a long time otherwise. So for instance, in imaging, you already have some artificial intelligence algorithm that will automatically set up the position of the bed in the scanner with respect to the patient before starting the acquisition. So that's already available, but it's hidden. Nobody is aware of that.
And then what do you think some potential future applications of AI in nuclear medicine will be?
So in the future, AI will do much more than just automation. First, it will enhance the quality of the data. So for instance, in nuclear medicine, it will improve the quality and the accuracy of the molecular images delivered by the scanners. And in addition, it will also help us identify new characteristics associated with various diseases. So for instance, using AI, we can analyze a large quantity of data, so we can gain insights into specific features of different diseases. So we gain new knowledge, and thanks to this new knowledge, we will be able to better stratify the patients and better predict which treatment will work best for each and every patient.
Will nuclear medicine professionals need additional training and education in order to take advantage of these new opportunities?
Yes, professionals will need to receive some educations about AI so that they use these tools at best. But of course, they won't have to become a data scientist or experts in computational medicine. That's not the point. But still, it is important that they understand some of the basics of AI so that they can use these tools with confidence when this is appropriate.
Adapting to new technological innovations is a constant in this field of medicine. Dr. Sharmila Durbala from Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston joins me now to talk about the latest developments in nuclear cardiology. So could you please provide a brief overview of your talk?
Happy to be here, and it's really an honor for me to highlight the cardiovascular science from 9 different countries presented at the SNMMI 2021 meeting. Primarily, there were a number of talks on perfusion imaging of the heart and skeletal muscle, imaging using novel molecular radio tracers, cardiac amyloidosis imaging, as well as a few topics on machine learning applications for microcalcification imaging, as well as perfusion imaging.
Let's discuss some exciting recent developments in nuclear cardiology research.
So there are actually many exciting developments that were presented at this meeting. And in the interest of time, I'll only be able to highlight a very few of these studies for your viewers. One of the key studies was from Yale University, from Drs. Liu and colleagues. They showed the feasibility of quantifying lower extremity blood flow using dynamic rubidium-82 PET imaging in a porcine model of acute ischemic limb. And then they validated in healthy humans as well as in humans with diabetes. I thought this research was very interesting because it opens up an entire new area of investigation into peripheral arterial disease, which is one of the major public health problems. 2 other key novel studies came from Hanover University in Germany, and they showed the utility of gallium-68 FAPI. Dykman, Bengal, and colleagues studied 12 patients with reperfused myocardial infarction and showed that FAPI uptake was seen in regions without FDG uptake corresponding to regions of late gadolinium enhancement on cardiac MRI. Notably, what they found was that half of the segments without significant LGE also exhibited or showed FAPI expression, suggesting that there's fibroblast activation even in the remote non-infarcted myocardium. From the same group, Hess and Thackeray colleagues showed using in vitro and animal studies upregulation of FAPI signal in regions without FDG uptake 7 days post-MI, and they also showed that this signal intensity decreased by 21 days. Together, these 2 studies provide key insights into the pathophysiology of post-myocardial infarction LV remodeling. 2 other studies I wanted to highlight came from Dr. Singh and Slomka and colleagues from Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, and they reported on the prognostic value using machine learning methods, both SPECT and PET myocardial perfusion imaging.
So looking to the future, what do you see for the future of nuclear cardiology?
That's really a great question. And I think the biggest challenge is predicting the future. But from the research presented here and looking at the field right now, I see a future that's exciting and bright and full of possibilities for nuclear cardiology. Really building on the strengths of molecular imaging as well as quantitation, nuclear cardiology, I believe, is poised to uncover novel disease mechanisms, image the entire cardiovascular system, and use machine learning. Each of these advances opens up the doors for precision medicine as well as theranostics.
SNMMI TV is brought to you from inside the Society for Nuclear Medicine and Molecular Imaging's annual meeting, featuring interviews with leaders in the field and industry news making headlines across the world. We're also bringing you the latest research and developments from across the globe. You'll find us on the virtual platform in the lobby, the SNMMI TV booth, and on social media. We'll bring you a new episode each day of the meeting, so make sure to watch for much more from the world of nuclear medicine and molecular imaging. Now for more on the scientific highlights in general nuclear medicine, I'm joined by Dr. Andrei Yagaru, Professor of Radiology at Stanford University. So tell us about this year's highlights.
So this year's highlights is organized as in prior years in several sections, one of them being general nuclear medicine, and I'm honored and humbled to be invited to present in this category.
What do you see as the most significant recent developments and trends in general nuclear medicine?
Well, as you will see in the presentation, we cannot ignore the impact that the COVID pandemic had on our field. So part of my presentation will show how we adapted to the COVID pandemic, what we changed in our practice based on the abstract that were submitted. And then, of course, our field is always reinventing itself. There's a lot of creativity, new research, original research, and I will cover some of the abstracts that caught my eyes.
And then what will be the next major trends for this area moving forward?
I think that our field will continue to stay focused on the theranostics concept. If you see something, then you treat it, but also will expand into other holy grails of the field, such as infection imaging, fibrosis imaging as related to long-term outcomes of disease, and not least imaging pain. That's a major source of expenses in the society, and there's an unmet need there.
That's it for day 3 of this virtual meeting, but there's one last episode to come. Here's a sneak peek of tomorrow's program.
I think it's really important for us as nuclear medicine community to be prepared, mentally ready, physically ready, logistically ready to take on these patients.
Until then, I'm Dina Baer for SNMMI TV.